Hey guys, I just want to add something to the previous video. So, when I ended it with the C out, right? So, what we had before was C out like that, right? And then, all right. So what I did was I put in the example three uh, inputs, and I'm just gonna run it again. All right. All right, so the output we're getting is correct. What I wanted to do was include. Oh, so the first thing is you're going to take it to your output file. So you make your variable of type OF stream and your variable dot open. I mean, object dot open, and then you open your output dot text, and then you're going to take your results, your output file, right? So make sure there's no C out, and then I only realized now that this makes no difference. But what I noticed with the outputs is that they all fixed to six digits. And what I wanted to do was use set precision to six, right? So that we get, I thought that the output would be longer, but then it actually works without the set precision. So you don't have to use set precision for this one. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, the previous video. The I got cut off because I don't have enough space. Alright, so I'm gonna quickly go into the next video. Okay, the next programming test. Alright, so this paper that we just did here, this one here, is for 2012. What is this? 2012. This was April 2012, and it was also done on May of 2011. So they repeated that. Alright, I'm now gonna go to. mm, 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 mm. I'm now gonna go to still on 2012. Alright, I'm gonna do May 2012. Let's see if I can just pull it up quickly on the screen. Let's see. Okay. So we're going to do this one. Alright. I'm just gonna read it quick and then we proceed. Alright. Required to write a computer program in C++ that counts the total number of each vowel. That is the letters A, E, I, O, U, and the total number of consonants found in a text file, and writes out the results of the analysis to a text file. Your program must comply with the following specifications and requirements. Refer to the examples below for more clarity. A file named input.txt will contain the text written in English that must be analyzed. The total number of lines is unspecified. Lowercase a and uppercase a occurrences of each vowel must be included in the total number of each vowel. Okay, only uppercase and lowercase consonants must be included in the total number of consonants. Special characters, for example, at or percentage, etc., must be ignored. Your program must generate a file called output.txt. Each line in this file must contain the particular vowel in alphabetical order, followed by a space, then the total number. The last line in the file must contain consonants, followed by a space, then the total number of consonants. Okay, your program must run without any console input from the user and must not produce any console output. You must make meaningful use of at least one function other than main in your source code. Cool. Okay, so I'm just going to look at example one. Give me guidance on what I need to do. So you have A, E, I, O, U written in small letters and then A, E, I, O, U written in capital. And so that was for line. What is going on here? Okay. So you need to do the total number. So it takes in like the whole text and then okay, let's go to example two. Yeah, okay, so it takes in the whole text. Okay, there's a note here at the bottom. I mean a hint, the standard library function is alpha. May be useful, use the index in your textbook. What? No textbooks allowed. Be sure to test your program with several different input files other than the ones given in example below. Alright, the textbook. I guess since you're in lockdown, you can use your textbook during the test. Mm, A, E, I, O, U, A, E, I, O, U. Okay, so another thing I wanted to teach you was like always look at the format of your output. It'll give you guesses on what you need to do as well. You can see that from the two examples given, there's like a set format in terms of how outputs are produced. So you always have A, E, I, O, U, and then consonants. Okay, so okay, let's begin to program this. All right, so I'm just gonna remove the previous thing. Delete the output there. Okay. So do your normal stuff. Name space. All right. Since we're using files as usual, include fstream int main. So this one you have to use another function as well, right? So we're going to be counting in the function. All right. Let's first do our normal string file. So at this point, if you still don't know how to read in from a text file, please watch the other videos. I'm gonna keep explaining. Okay, I'm going to make, I'm reading in. Uh, okay, since we don't have to, I just want to show you again. Uh, whoa, come on, switch. Okay, since we are just displaying A, E, I, O, U, and then consonants, right? We don't have to take in each line like we did before using get line. So what we can actually use is taking in each character at a time and then sorting that out individually. So I think that would be um, easier. So we're not going to use getLine, although we did for other encryption of text and stuff. All right, so I'm going to use a variable of type char, and I'll call it temp. Right, it's my temporary variable where I'll be storing things temporarily, and I'm going to use a while loop because remember unspecified sizes, right? You don't know when your file is going to, I mean, how much information you have on the lines, okay? So I'm going to take in characters in here, and the first thing I want to do is separate. Um, I want to separate alphabets from other types of characters. Okay, so the first thing we're going to use is the Boolean function, and it's called isAlpha. All right, it did give us a hint in the brief saying you can use isAlpha. It should be useful. So isAlpha, then we're going to pass in our temp, right? So that we're passing in a character in here. So we're like if isAlpha is true, then we can proceed doing some stuff here. And then we won't write an else statement because then we'll only perform something if it's true. Then if it's not true, then it'll just go to the top and perform and take in the next character, I mean, and then go on. So that way it eliminates funny characters or symbols. Okay, so once we know a it is an alphabet, okay. The next thing I noticed is that I don't know why this thing doesn't want to switch for me. Okay, the next thing I noticed is that there's some characters that are capital letters, and the next thing we want to do is make sure we only have small letters. Okay, so take temp and make it equals to uh, the smaller version of temp, right? Remember what does to lower do? Takes a capital letter and converts it into a small letter, and if it's already a small letter, it just leaves it like that. And this won't apply to special characters because we're only performing it for alphabets. So I'm just gonna comment here. Converts uppercase converts uppercase alphabets into lowercase. Okay, cool. Right. So after we know we're dealing with a small letter, you're just gonna have a character that comes in, right? And then we need to have some sort of index, right, that allows us to uh, compare this character to another character that exists in the index and see and then start adding. So we'll have two indexes we'll have two indices, index, whatever. We're gonna have two of those things, and one will be for vowels and one will be for consonants. So since we need to have a function, it's compulsory to have a function. I'm gonna put them in a function. Okay. Let me just. just remove this and show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to make a function. It's going to take in, so I'll have a function, right? It's going to take in the character, and then once it comes in, I'll have some sort of index, right? And this one will be for vowels. And then remember it will have A, E, I, O, U. And then I make another index for consonants. I'm not gonna write it out. And basically, oh, I don't need a, sorry, I only need an index for vowels. Okay, so then you're gonna have a for loop, and it will start at 0, and it will stop at the length of the, so index dot length, right? And then your normal stuff. Okay, so what this is gonna actually do is take this character here, right, and then compare it there, and then if it is uh, once it finds what it's equals to, what do we have to do then? Hmm. Okay, I know what to do. Right, right. Okay. So since there's only a few of them, what you can use is a switch statement. Okay, so if you find that you don't even need this, you could have just used a switch statement for this whole thing. This is actually like so easy. You don't even need all this. I thought you'd have to use an index. Alright, so you have a switch, and remember you can switch characters because they, according to the ASCII table, they have a number as well. So switch the character, and then you'd have a case for A, and then you do something. Obviously, it'll be plus plus, right? Then case for E, and then for I, O, U. And then if it doesn't fall in none of them, it'll you'll have a default, and in your default you'll have this would be for consonants. Okay, then you just have a plus plus. I'm thinking about how you're gonna store it and return each and every variable that is here. Hmm. Okay, so I hope you are comfortable with passing by, what is it, by reference, right? So we'll pass so we'll like pass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll pass six variables by reference, meaning they'll have that ampersand thing in front of them, each and every one of them. Okay, I'll code it now. And why I did that is so that in main, whatever I did in the function will affect the same variable that I passed through here in main. Okay, because I can only return one thing, and I need to return like all these values. if I'm going to use a function. Okay, so that's what I'm basically going to do. Let's code it. Uh, Switch back. Okay, so let's make those variables. So I'm going to make variables and I'm going to initialize them in one line. So if you want to do that, you put the name of the variable and in brackets next to it the value you want to give it. So, oh no, they're not going to be characters, they're going to be what? Integers, right? Because they're going to store the amount of times each character is repeated in the text. So we have A, then we have E, then we have I, then we have O, then we have U, then we have one for consonants. Console. That's cool. So I'm going to have a function and I will call it count 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 what? Uh, Count alphabets, I guess. And I'm gonna be passing in A, E, I, O, U, consonants, and last but not least, temp, which will be our character, right? That's coming in from the text file. Right, we need to make this function. So since, as I discussed, I won't be returning anything, I'm gonna make it of type void. It's called count alphabets, and it needs to take in 5 integers, right? So int passed by reference A, int passed by reference E. Okay, and then I'm just gonna copy this. Sorry about background noise. My mom is watching horror movies. A, E, I, O, and then U, and then consonants. And then I'm not gonna pass the character text coming in by reference. I don't need to because I'm just reading in. So by value is enough. Okay, so for this one, what can I call it? Alphabet coming in. Alphabet. Okay, so what we said was we'll have a switch statement. What are we gonna be switching? Alphabet. No. Alpha. Oh, I didn't give it a variable type. It's of type char. So we're switching alphabet. And then if the case is, don't forget to put your single quotation marks, right? Since it's a character. So if it's A, then A plus plus. Break, don't forget your breaks as well. Then we have case B, sorry, E, it's gonna be E plus plus, break. Then you have case A, E, I plus plus, break, case O plus plus A E I break, don't forget A E I O U case U, excuse me, U plus plus and a break. Alright, so far we're done with the vowels A E I O U, and then for this is the default will be for consonants, right? So consonants plus plus and break. Yeah, okay, okay. Then after this, remember this loop is gonna run a lot of times, right? Um, because we're taking in each character, so a lot of times. So after this stuff is done, for now I'm going to use C out, and it will be A, and then space, and then sorry. It needs to be A space, then the value for A, and the line, then E space E, and the line A E I space I, and the line O space O, and the line U space U, and the line, sorry, A E I O U, and then we have consonants space consonants, and the line. Then we're done. Okay, then return 0. Alright, I'm gonna run this. So I need to check what text are we bringing in? Need to go back to there. So I'm just gonna write this text in my input file, right? A E I O U, and capitals A E I O U. Next line we have B C D F G H J K L M N P Q R S T V W X Y Z. And then the next line we have the same thing in capitals, right? So B C D F G H J K L M N P Q R S T V W X Y Z. Then we have exclamation mark, @ sign, hashtag, $sign, percentage, copy, ampersand, star, and round braces. And that's it. So I'm gonna save this. Okay. Alright, so I'm just gonna save this and then go back to the code. Let's see if we get the right stuff. Alright, so we got 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 42. Let's see if that matches the. Yeah, so 2, 2, 2, 42. Okay, I'm just gonna put in the second piece of text in there and then see if that also works. So 2, 3, or not to be. That is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing and then question mark, close quotation marks. So 11, 17, 8, 18, 6, 93. Lotto numbers. Alright, so this is my text. I'm saving it. I'm going back to the code, running the code. 11, 17, 8, 18, 6, and 93. Is that the same? 11, 17, 8, 18, 6, 93. 11, 17, 8, 18, 6, 93. For some reason, are they the same? I keep switching, so yeah, they are. Alright, let's try the last. Oh, there's no last one. Alright, so that's it, guys. That's pretty much what you had to do. I'm just going to take it to my output file. So OF stream out file dot open output dot txt, and then in this line here, let's write out file and run that. Alright, so no console output, right? Which is what was required. And then let me just go to my output file. Okay, so there it is, right? That's correct. No extra spaces, everything looks in order. Cool. So you need to get comfortable with passing by reference. If you are, it's very good. This won't be something new to you. Whenever you use the ampersand sign, that thing, it shows that you are going to the address of where A is stored, right? So this A, when it was created, was stored somewhere in memory, and this A has a memory location. And what this ampersand says is that go to the address of A and manipulate A. So if A originally had 0 in it, when this function executes, A increases, and at the end of the function, that that value, the operation or the new value of A gets stored at this address. It's not like, okay, you see here where I passed by value. Once this curly brace closes, right, that piece of information is lost. So whatever came in here, if I had to maybe change alphabet, so say I said at the bottom maybe alphabet is now going to be Z, Putting this here makes no sense. It doesn't do anything to the code. It will compile, but you're changing uh, this variable that was made here in this function, right, to Z, but then when you close it, it uh, releases whatever memory it reserved to store this. It like wipes it out. Whereas these addresses are stored here in main, so they still exist. And then when main closes, then it wipes this as well. But we are outputting before that, so all is good. Uh, Please don't forget to write comments. And in one of the videos, I also did some type of what was it? Some type of checking that you can also include in your test if you do have more time. And basically, it's so you write an if statement and you like if in file dot uh, is dot I don't know what I said the last time. Was it is open or is dot is should be is open. Oh well, I can't find it. Dot. So it is dot is. I don't remember, but it's in one of the videos where I think you get more marks if you actually do some sort of like a check. So you need to check if in file is open. I think you need to use another library. C standard. Let's see if it works with C standard. Uh, dot is oh yeah, here it is. So you need to use if you want to use some sort of check, right, to check if your file actually open. Include C standard library, and then all right. So I just showed you that this doesn't make sense. Okay, so if it's a boolean, so in file dot is open is not true, meaning it did not open the file or it didn't find the file or there's some error. So what you can say is at this point we didn't. So just can return error. No. Oh, I think there's C error. Yeah, you can see error uh, one expected semicolon after. Oh, is it just that? We could use this, or what I used to do was just say cout cannot find file, and then 1. Okay, so instead of taking this to C out, you can actually take it to your out file. So just do this above here. Yeah, so that you can outfile this. So it's like, let's say someone's running your code from their machine and they didn't make an input file, right? So it's like, let's say, remember when this code compiles, there's a .exe file, okay? There's a .cpp file, there's a .exe file. So if someone runs your .exe file, uh, this code will open and execute. And let's say someone doesn't have an input text file, this will run. So in your out file, so your result file, it will show that it cannot find, you can write input.txt file. And then when you return 1, the coder will know that, okay, something went wrong. What went wrong? Then if they open the output, then they'll find that. So I think that will probably give you more marks. You could put that in. But remember to include C standard level. So thank you guys for watching the video. See you in the next one.